This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting live from the Margaritaville Terrace on Fort Myers Beach, 100 feet from the Gulf of America. Here are your award-winning social media superstars, the hosts of Beach Talk Radio.
Do it.
Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you. The audience here is massive today. Thank you all for coming to Margaritaville for another award-winning episode of Beach Talk Radio. And look at our guest. He's just wandering in at the last minute. It had me a little nervous there, so I had a backup plan. Our backup plan, we might have to bring our backup plan in just a second, but I wanted to remind you guys of a few things. On February the 14th, the Community Foundation is hosting its annual fashion show, and that's going to be held in Santini Plaza. And so there's going to be more details out on that. They have gift baskets that they raffle off. And so you'll be able to bid on those at the library, but that's February 14th. For anybody that's walking around that has no idea what we're doing, we do a show here every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock and every Sunday morning at 10 o'clock at Wahoo-Willie's with the mayor. The Sunday morning show is at Wahoo-Willie's. The Saturday morning show is here on the terrace until it gets too hot for my wife, who is not here today. Not because it's too hot, because she's on assignment. She's on assignment in Cape Coral for the 41st annual Arts Festival in Cape Coral. 140,000 people there. So if you're afraid of fecal matter and you don't want to come to the beach, maybe make a trip over to Cape Coral for the Arts Festival, which is today and tomorrow. They shut the road off for 2 days in Cape Coral for the Arts Festival. They have all kinds of booths set up. They have businesses set up. If you're a fan of Conservative Ant on Facebook, he's got a tent set up where he's got his American merchandise out there. And so that's something to do. But if you're not afraid of fecal material, you can come to the beach because the beach is beautiful. The businesses are open. The weather is perfect. And, of course, our show is here live. And so you can come on down to the beach today. You can also come to the beach tomorrow for the show. In addition to the mayor tomorrow, we're going to have the brand new public information officer, Abigail, and the town manager tomorrow. So they're going to talk about AI and how they're going to incorporate that in running the government more efficiently. And so that'll be interesting. I have no idea what AI is, because I think when you reach 60 years old, the only thing left in your life is your spouse, your dog, and Facebook. Other than that, you got nothing in your life. At least maybe that's just me and my life. But we are running a 5K tonight, and the Cops and Joggers 5K is in Fort Myers tonight. And I'm a little injured. I just want everybody to know that in case my wife wins tonight. I was told by the doctors in the audience that I have some kind of sciatica issue. I got this pain in my right cheek here that I don't know how that started. And then when I get up in the morning, it's down the whole right side of my leg. So I don't know, maybe is that a stroke or something? But it starts in my butt cheek. But I'm going to suck it up tonight. I'm going to run in this 5K, and then we're running in the Edison 5K in a few weeks. So a lot of activities going on. And then, of course, next Saturday, I could talk for the whole hour, Dave. I bet you didn't know that. Of course, she'd be yelling at me to shut up right now. So 17th is the Puttin Pub, which is a benefit for the women's club. It's like there's a whole setup. I think there's 11 locations. Julie, do you know if there's like 11 or 12 locations, and every location is a fundraiser for a different 501c3 on the island? And really, it's just a way for people to come and drink, dress up in goofy clothes and drink on the beach, as if they needed a reason. But that's a fun reason, and it's a fundraiser for the Fort Myers Beach Women's Club. So that's on the 17th. And so there's a lot of things going on. But Dave, hold your lunch there, Dave, because we're going to have you on in a second. But first, we're going to have our first guest on. He's a world famous author, and he's an investigative reporter from, the 20s and 30s back in the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for our first guest today, Lee Melsek. Lee, come on down. Lee used to be a member of the Bay Oaks Committee back, I think, before the storm. That was a while ago, right, Lee? Let me turn your microphone on. Nice and close with the mic. How are you, man?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you again. Last time we had you on, I think, was down in the restaurant on the beach. Yeah.
Am I on? I guess
You
I'm
are on, yeah. So just keep the mic close and tell everyone how you're doing.
I'm doing good. I'm in North. I live in North Florida now. I grew up on this beach. I lived on the island here for 60 some years. I was an investigative reporter with the News Press for 32 years. We went after some crooked politicians and cops. But I'm living in North Florida now. I just came down here yesterday to be on your show, and then from 11 o'clock to 2, there's 30 authors are going to be down at Annette's Book Nook at the south end of the island, selling books and signing books. And then on Monday at 1 o'clock at the library, the my old group, the Historical Society, Fort Myers Beach Historical Society, wants me to speak to their membership at the library. So that's 1 o'clock on Monday. So that's why I'm here.
And you brought your book because you are an author, and I know you're working on a new book. But just little more detail about the event today at Annette's Book Nook. We had Annette on last week. She owns the Book Nook, which is down the alley from the Islander on the other side of that alley there, and they're going to have authors everywhere signing books and taking pictures and doing autographs and all that fun stuff. And that's a wonderful person. And if you haven't had a chance to go to Santini Plaza and visit the Book Nook, it's a really cool place. So tell us a little bit about your book there, Huck.
Well, I've published a book, came out last summer, Finding Huck. It's sort of a memoir of the island in the 50s when I grew up on this island, long before any of this was here. It's an easy read. It's a fun read. There's some funny stories in it. There's a couple of sad stories. But I wrote this over several years, and it's a short book for taking several years to write, but it's a fun book. It's on sale now on, you can buy it online at Amazon, Books A Million, or Barnes & Noble, or you can buy one today from me.
For the kids out there, Barnes & Noble is a big building that has books in it, in case anyone didn't know that. I didn't even know there were. I was talking to Annette about this. I didn't even know there were Books A Million left open. I knew there was a Barnes & Noble because there's one. I think there's a couple left around. I haven't seen a Books A Million in a while. Have you ever gone to a bookstore, or do you download the books on your iPad? She has gone to a bookstore. Very nice. I haven't been in a while. I used to love going to Barnes & Noble, but now I do the iPad thing.
Barnes & Noble is the big one.
Yeah.
And Amazon's pretty big.
Plus, the book is on sale at Annette's, right?
On sale at Annette's.
And
they'll be on sale today again once we, as I say, she says there's about 30 authors, local authors coming.
Including
lined up down there selling and autographing books.
Including Ellie. Ellie wrote a
Bunting,
book.
The president of the local historic society. I was president of it for 3 years, I think in early 2000s.
Oh, you were? I didn't know that.
I was president. When I was president, we got the second historic cottage. It's down behind the beach school, for those of you who don't know.
Yeah, I was down there
museum.
I was down there last weekend doing a walk around. I took a little walk of the new Bay Oaks. The Bay Oaks, they got some new palm trees in there, and they got a nice, I consider it a running track, a little circle around the field. Remember to think big. They're going to think big about the Bay Oaks new building over there. And then you walk around the school, and the Historical Society building is there, and then you have the preserve in the back, which, you know, I walked. I just wanted to let you guys know this. I didn't put it on Facebook because the county yells at me when I say stuff like this, but I did a walk on the preserve, and they claim it's 75% done. Now, if you saw my walk last week on the preserve, it did not look to me like it was 75% done, but they are working on that preserve, which is really cool back there.
It got beat up pretty bad.
Oh, yeah. a lot of the boardwalk was broken, and they have mats down on it now, but they are working on it, and it's really nice back there. So tell us one story that you want people to get out of the book that'll be like a teaser to have them buy it.
Well, let me read the back cover, okay?
The whole back cover or part of it?
It's very small.
All right. It is very small.
This is what this pretty well sums up. There are 24 chapters, very short stories.
Any pictures?
A few pictures. The old church, the old school. One of the old shrimp docks. Let me just read you this so you'll know what you're getting into. The island was ours, far from the cities, bordered by the Gulf of Mexico and the ancient Estero Bay.
Read it like you would be reading it to a group of school children.
We were free.
Yes, we were.
Settled among 7 miles of sugar sand beach, palm and pine forests.
Love the forest.
Waters full of fish, and a population small enough to know each face, each name.
Each fish.
It was the 50s, and America was at peace. Nowhere more so than on this skitty, dead-end island blessed with clean tropic breezes and the best of neighbors. A time before streetlights, stoplights, high-rise buildings, and hucksters peddling fantasies of utopia. Single moms were pioneering a fledgling business community. A few famous actors, athletes, and aspiring authors were sheltering for privacy, and a young family from northern Illinois was learning this strange new land required patience. This is the island's memoir, who we were, how we lived in a time long since replaced by a crush of traffic, unabated development, and overwhelmed by a government and tourist industry unwilling to slow the chaos. A time long before the island's soul vanished in the mutiny.
You had to stick the politics in there at the end.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's how I feel. But it's a quick read. It's 24 very short chapters, a quick read with some funny stuff in it. So
if you're looking for it on Amazon, that's what the cover is.
I brought some along.
All right.
Now I'm ready now. I'm working on a new book. And this one's going to be a fiction, sort of. It's a murder mystery of an investigative reporter is murdered, shot in the back of the head. It takes place in Fort Myers, or I know best. They say always to write about what you know best, so that's one. It takes place in Fort Myers with several investigative reporters in a newspaper called The Star. He's shot, and the 3 other investigative reporters at the paper decide they're going to investigate. The paper and the local police department have been at odds for years. The police department is the one that's going to supposedly be investigating this murder. The reporters at the paper have written exposés on that department over and over again. And what I'm doing with this book is I get so tired of hearing this nonsense about how the press is the enemy of the people and reporters make things up. It's nonsense. It's told by people who have never stepped into a newsroom, okay? And I am so fed up with it. And this story is going to take you into a newsroom. And it's going to show you the process of how a newsroom works. Okay? There's no reporters sitting around making up stories. Your enemies don't work in there. They're not your enemies. They're trying to tell you what's happening in your communities. So that's what I'm trying to do.
When will it be finished?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm working on it. And I want this book. I know I'm not going to change the mind those people who keep calling it the enemy to people. You're never going to change their mind. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. But I want the rest of the readers to understand how a newspaper actually works, how it operates in a daily working environment in a newsroom filled with editors, copy editors. In my case, we had a lawyer because I wrote a lot of very expository stories. A lawyer who goes over every word in investigative pieces. I just think people should be helped to understand how the newsroom process and those people work. So that's what this is about. It's going to take you into a newsroom, and it's going to show you how 3 other investigative reporters, John Lee Slaughter, Racy Dussault, and Seymour Stone, go about real investigative reporting, how they develop sources, how they work their street sources, how they work their government sources.
Sounds like it's going to be thicker than 24 pages.
Yeah, this one's going to be long.
Yeah, like a novel.
It's a novel, and it's
Smaller
it's fiction. We never had a investigative reporter shot in the back of the head. That didn't happen. But some of the background in the book are stories that I broke, which led to the confrontations with the local police department and sometimes the local county government. You know, in this county, at least 8 that I can count off the top of my head, public officials downtown have gone to prison. 8.
Is that going to be in the book?
Yeah.
Men and women, by the way.
5 of them were Lee County commissioners who eventually went to jail. 2 of them were U.S. House members from Lee County. One of them was the tax collector who was getting kickbacks on the purchase of mobile tax units.
Is that illegal?
Oh, yeah. So there's been a lot of dishonesty that's gone on in Lee County government.
So, Lee, I don't want you to give away the whole book, and I did want to slip in a few other questions. You've been very political of late on your Facebook page. You should follow Lee on.
That's on my Facebook page.
It's not your Facebook page?
It is. It's most of it's on your newsletter.
So, yeah, some of it is on my Facebook page and my newsletter. Yes. So about the island stuff, is there anything that you wanted to say real quick about what's going on the beach, being that you were here for 64 years?
Well, there is something that's I was here long before there was ever a government. We were governed by the Lee County Commission, and they left us alone, and people on the island at that time liked it that way. We had a hardware store owner out here, Walt Thomas, who finally ran for the commission, the first beach resident to run for the commission in 56. And the incumbent he ran against said, if you vote for him on that island, if the island voters vote for him, this government will never do another thing to you. He actually said that on local TV. The island voted for him. Walt lost because it's countywide elections. Walt lost, but the island voted for him, and that commissioner lived up to his promise. They didn't do much for this island at all for years. Anyway, I came here in 51 with my parents from Northern Illinois, went through beach school. My dad was in the shrimp industry when it started here in 50. He was a broker. He went to the docks and bid on the shrimp for a big wholesaler in Tampa.
Somebody wants me to ask you about Jeff Matthews.
Jeff Matthews owned the pizza parlor next door here, used to be there. And he was a big drug peddler. Anybody know Jeff Matthews? Okay, this was back in the 90s. And I wrote a story. I got onto him, and
What
I
was
started
he selling? What kind of drugs was he selling?
cocaine. And he had a group of guys that would go out in the street and peddle it.
On the beach?
Yep. He had a hitman on the beach.
Wow.
They actually whacked a guy in the men's room of his pizza parlor.
Is that going to be in your book?
Not this one. Well, a little. I'm sorry.
That would be an interesting story to have in your book.
I've kind of brushed. Yeah, I brushed it. But and I started writing about him. The FBI was looking at him. DEA was looking at him. He found out they were looking at him, and he was really pissed about my stories on him. So they arrested his girlfriend, took her into custody, and that really set him off. So he made some fire bombs and went uptown one night at 2 a.m. to the DEA building, the federal drug enforcement, and threw bombs through their windows. It was the only DEA building in America that has ever been bombed.
Wow.
And then he took off. He disappeared, and they were looking for him. They went into his
Whitey Bulger.
He went into his apartment, and they found his book, little black book of hit lists.
Uh-oh.
2 of the kids were already dead, and my name was in it.
Wow.
So
You're making all this up.
No, I'm not. The U.S. attorney called my publisher at the News Press and told them they needed to get me out of town. That this guy they didn't know where he was, but my name was in his book.
Did you go to witness protection?
No. The paper sent me into hiding, and let me tell you where it was. They sent me over to South Seas Plantation behind the gates.
Go figure.
And
he found
if you don't golf, or you don't fish, or you don't lay on the beach in the sun all day, it's the most boring place I've ever been.
Plus, there were no computers back then, right? They didn't even have phones back in the day.
I was squirreled away at South Seas Plantation. Excellent dining facilities. It was all on the News Press. I had a nice big condo. They paid for all of it. But if you don't do those things, it's just not a place for a young man to be. I was a young man back then.
How old are you now?
I'm old. Just suffice it to say I'm old.
50, 60, 70? How old are you? You're in great shape for whatever age you are.
I'm 80.
80.
So
you feel good? You feel like a young
80 plus.
You feel like a young 80?
Yeah, I'm healthy. So if you got your health, you got it all.
Yeah. So how many?
And a good lady, and my lady sitting out there,
yes.
Sandy.
So how many death threats did you have over the years?
Well, before that, in 82, that was in the night. In 82, another reporter and I got onto the fact that the sewer contractor here in Lee County was supplying hookers to 3 county commissioners.
Wow. What the hell was going on back then?
Well, that's what Lee County
sounds like the good old days.
This has been the Wild West here. So we got onto it, and we started an investigation that took us 6 months.
Yeah.
We didn't write a story. It cost the News Press some money because we weren't producing stories.
Right.
And we broke a big story. I still say it's probably the biggest. Barbara Johnson and I broke a big story. I still think it was the biggest story the News Press has ever broken.
Can you find it on microfiche now? Is it where can you find that story?
I don't know. Probably microfiche. But so they took him to a grand jury, and 2 of the commissioners got up there and lied. They went with the contractor over to his big home in Lighthouse Point, Lauderdale, and they took him out for a boat ride with all these hookers on the boat. And the FBI went over there and took pictures.
Yeah.
Now you got follow this. They took pictures of the boys and the girl, the boys from the county commission and the girls on the boat going out the intercoastal waterway, Lighthouse Point, into the ocean. Well, they went to a grand jury here, a state attorney's office, state grand jury. And one of the commissioners told the second commissioner, "We can't say we were with these girls. My wife will divorce me." Now, this is all true. Trust, I was there. So
Wait, you were on the boat with the
no,
ladies
I
of
was
the
at
night?
the grand jury.
Oh,
room.
I was
So
okay. I just want to make it clear.
No, I
I don't want
wasn't
anyone
on-
to get misinformed here.
now, Ed, you know I don't get involved. So they, so he convinced the second commissioner not to say anything about deny it. You deny this. So they walked into the grand jury room and denied that there was, we had copies of the pictures.
Mm.
They walked into that we hadn't published them yet.
Were they Polaroids?
We hadn't published them yet. No, they were real good cameras. So they walked into the grand jury room and they were asked about being with women on a boat in Lauderdale Lighthouse Point at such and such a day, at such and such a time. And they said there were no women on that boat. And that was suborned perjury. And they went to jail for perjury. The third commissioner, he admitted everything. He didn't see anything wrong with what they were doing. It's none of your business.
Sung like Sammy the Bull.
That the guy they're giving contracts to is giving them hookers. So he went to trial. The other two pled guilty, finally. They did a little jail time. The third commissioner, he went to trial. They moved it over to Lauderdale, went over there. And he was convicted of one count of unlawful compensation. That's Florida's law for bribery.
Nice.
Okay.
So he
unlawful compensation from the sewer contract.
Slap on the wrist.
So they convicted him too. So that was a very big deal. It went on for, we did more big stories on that county government over a whole year.
Yeah.
You had department heads taking their secretaries to a contractor's private condo for lunch. You had all kinds of things going on. So this was really the Wild West back in the 70s and 80s, and still very embraced with Jim Crow type of policies with the black community up in Fort Myers and Dunbar. Awful things happened to those people.
Well, Lee, listen, we're running out of time.
Okay.
You should get your own podcast and tell these stories. You really should.
I've got you.
Well,
I got
we
Kim.
like to,
Kim will invite me on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we like to mix it up a little bit, but yeah, you should tell these stories like books on tape. Just sit in a room and record them. Now you'll be at Santini Plaza from now until what time?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock today.
A lot of good beach writers will be there.
Yeah,
if you're interested.
Yeah.
Monica Lynn is going to be there. She's published 3 books.
The Dolphin
on
Lady.
dolphins.
Yeah.
She wrote, one of them was a children's book about dolphins.
Yep.
A wonderful lady who's out there on that Matanzas Pass in her little boat every day.
I have a feeling we're going to hear from Monica on Wednesday at 10 o'clock, which is what we're going to talk about.
Can I say one more thing?
One more thing. You got to make it brief.
The latest issue going on out here is the LPA member who owns a home in Estero and claimed it with the state as his domicile so he could get homestead exemption.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a home out here, come to find out he was living in, and registered to vote in town elections. Ed, your town attorney has said—
not mine, but the town attorney here on the beach
has said that, well, she looked at it and he's okay. Excuse me, but is there a formal written opinion on her opinion? Do you know?
So here's what I think is going to happen. He's talking about Jim Dunlap. You guys might have read the story in our newsletter on Friday. What the town attorney said was Jim qualifies according to the town's charter. The town's charter doesn't say anything about homestead. Now, how that would
that's
mesh—
state. The homestead exemptions are given by the state.
Right, but my point is how it all meshes with the voting thing and the homestead thing might be something Jim has to deal with, but she only rules on what the town charter said.
Well, she knows. I challenge her.
Okay.
In the first place, why in the world isn't there a written opinion with cites?
Because he never applied for the position. She doesn't need to offer any opinion. He never put his name in.
Well, she knows now.
Yeah.
That there's an LPA member here who filed state homestead exemption, claiming it as his permanent domicile.
But you don't
And
need.
she has him on the beach voting on town issues. Of course, that's her job. Of course, she should look into that and make a ruling on it.
Well-
It had Fort Myers Beach is part of this whole issue. Why would the town attorney not do that? Okay, you can't. The last I knew, unless there's a waiver or there's something else.
There is a waiver.
uh,
I don't know if he signed the waiver.
for hurricane victims.
No.
Okay.
You don't need to be. Well, you know this because you were on a committee. You don't need to be a member, a resident of Fort Myers Beach
That's
to be on a
irrelevant
committee.
in this case. That's irrelevant in this case.
Well, that's where if we're talking about the LPA, it's not irrelevant.
He's voting in town elections.
Oh,
when he is,
I see. Well,
you can't register your permanent home in one town to get the tax deduction and go vote in another town. Last I knew,
Unless you're
you
in
couldn't
Chicago.
do that. When you come down here from Chicago, okay,
got to play by the rules.
you have a condo here or whatever, and your homestead exemption is in Chicago. Okay, you can't file. You're not supposed to. The state has done a lot of work weeding people out who do that.
I don't want to get into an argument over it. I don't want to argue with anybody about it. He's not applied. But my point is, I think there was some kind of issue with the hurricanes. I don't know if every rule was followed or what the rules were.
That's my question.
That's what I think.
Was there a waiver that would have had
I don't know if
been
there was a
also
waiver.
granted by the state, because the state controls homestead exemption?
Right.
Okay. You sign a document that your permanent domicile is the house in Estero, and that's the one they put the homestead exemption on. You come to Fort Myers Beach and live in a house here and vote in town elections. My real gripe is with the town attorney. Why in the world doesn't she pursue that?
Well,
where is this opinion? It was verbal?
It was, and I know it was a verbal message that she gave to Dan,
Well,
the mayor, and her message was that Jim qualifies under the rules of the town of Fort Myers Beach charter, which lays out you have to be a resident for a year. It doesn't say anything about homestead. Now, if somebody wants to question whether Jim should be on the LPA or voting on Fort Myers Beach, they should do that.
No.
They should.
The
listen,
question,
there are dead people voting all over the country. I mean, we don't. Nobody makes a big deal of dead people voting. I mean,
no, Jim can be on the LPA. The town councils out here over the years have gone back and forth on
Right.
that. Can off-islanders serve on our committees? Right now, apparently they can. That's not the issue.
I see. You're
The
talking
issue
about
is
the
he's
voting.
voting in elections in a town.
Well, the town attorney's never going to rule on that. That's an elections thing. That's got to be the supervisor of elections, I would think. It's outside the town.
I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Why would it be the town attorney that voices an opinion
Because
on that?
because it's happening in her town, in her government. Okay, that's why it's happening. Why would she not be involved in that?
I just don't think it's. I don't know who it falls under, but I guess we
I
might
covered
find
a
out.
lot of governments and a lot of law cases. Okay, let me tell you something. When attorneys do this on this kind of issue this size, they write formal opinions and cite cases and all that. In this case, the homestead exemption thing should have been cited, in her opinion. It should have been cited. So I'm challenging her and the way she has handled this, simply walking in the mayor's office and telling him he's okay. That's not how it's supposed to work.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you very much.
See you down at Santini Plaza.
Are
A
you
big
gonna
hand for Lee Melsek.
Are you
everybody.
coming down there?
No, I actually I have to let the dogs out, otherwise I would. Thank you, Lee, very much. Real quick, Dave, come up. I want to give everyone kind of like we were talking about Monica real quick. Oh, if you just showed up, even if you're in the back there, we're giving away prizes. If you want to you don't have to buy anything, just fill your name out. You'll have your choice of a $25 gift certificate to Margaritaville store, an appetizer at La Di Da, or 2 pool passes that you can use at another time. So if you want to just fill that out. Now, Dave, do you want to, Dave is the chairman of the Marine Environmental Resources Task Force Committee, which meets Wednesday at 10 a.m. in the beautiful new town hall building. And one of the things you should all know about, if you're concerned about the helicopter and what's going on with the helicopter, they are going to add it to their agenda. Most likely, they have to go ahead.
Well, we've had a request from one of the committee members. We have to publish our agenda and vote on it ahead of time. And one of the committee members requested that we add the helicopter situation
Yes.
onto the agenda. And Chad Chutz, our staff liaison, sent it out. And I'm sure the committee member that asked it to be put on will bring it up to modify the agenda. And for the sake of discussion, and because it's a topic, I will probably second it.
It'll pass. Yeah.
And
So
and it'll be on discussion. So
just for a little more meat on the bone there, you left a few things out, which is fine. If you didn't watch our Sunday show last week, the owner of the helicopter company showed up to Wahoo Willie's, and we sat him down. We had an interview with him about what he's trying to do. He's trying to start a helicopter tour business of Fort Myers Beach, which is on the Back Bay area. And there's some concern with folks out there that the helicopter is going to disrupt the birds and the dolphins and some wildlife out there. And what he said on our show was that Ranger Rob gave him the okay to, I don't know, Ranger Rob can't sign off on all the different agencies, but he had a meeting with Ranger Rob, and Ranger Rob, he says, gave him the okay. Now, Ranger Rob is an employee of the Pink Shell. I don't know what the ranger actually is. I don't know if he's a certified ranger, because I don't know anything about that stuff. But let's just say he's a certified ranger. It doesn't mean that he's like the sign off for the FWC or the Army Corps of Engineers or whoever needs to sign off on that. He's also on the committee. He's also on Dave's committee. So he apparently,
it's not my committee. It's a committee.
All right,
I'm a member.
All right, Mister. Got to be perfect about that. You're the chair of the committee, and so he's going to have to answer to that, because the helicopter guy claims he gave him the okay.
And
like Ranger Rob says you can fly helicopters.
And I can certainly understand him wanting to bring this on the agenda.
Sure.
But the reason I brought this up to you, Ed, is that we are a public meeting. We have public comment before the meeting. And if anyone would like to come down to the meeting, because it was not on the published agenda that came out, we're going to have to modify it. So because of the breadth of your audience, if there are people that would like to come down to the town hall at the Murph meeting, which starts at 10 o'clock, and give a public comment before we go into the meeting regarding this issue or any other issue that comes up environmentally, we welcome you to come and give a comment.
Since the Murph meeting back in the day tried to get black paint on everybody's windows on the south end, this could be one of the most interesting meetings your adult committee has had in years. This is what you usually do at the beginning of the meeting. This is no shot.
Your word at adult committee meeting, not mine.
This is your shot. It's time for open comment, public comment. Seeing there's none. What happened?
Well, there isn't anybody there, so
Well, it should really be called the coloring book committee.
I'm not going there.
No, everybody loves the coloring book. I'm just saying.
It's an activity book.
It's an activity book. Sorry, that you're allowed to color in or not?
Yes.
Okay. Do you get crayons with the coloring book, with the activity book? Is that extra?
It used to.
So if you're interested, seriously, you should go, because it will be an interesting. I don't know that you guys have any say in the matter. I don't even know if the council has any say in the matter.
The Murph committee is just an advisory committee to the town council. We have no authority to do anything other than to advise the town council on environmental issues. That's all we can do. But we welcome everyone or anyone that's here on the island to come down and give us
This is Dave begging for public comment. Somebody please come to my meeting. By the way,
I just want to make sure everybody has a voice.
no, and the other, just lastly on that, and I'm joking around with you because people are concerned about the helicopter. The thing that's most interesting is if it's 1,000 feet off the island, from the way I understand it, is the town council doesn't even have any say in the matter. But if you organize and you go to the council and you say, hey, we would like you to reach out to the Army Corps and here's a statement, then that all makes sense. You get public comment, you guys make a recommendation to the council, the mayor goes and writes a letter or whatever. It could lead to something.
It's a process.
Yeah. Process. Very exciting process, by the way. So lastly, before I let you go, who are you rooting for tonight?
I think the Packers.
Yeah. And I can't imagine what Parrot Key is going to be like tonight. For anybody that doesn't know, Parrot Key is like Lambeau South. The place is crazy during a regular season game. And I can't imagine what that place would be like. Not that this would happen, but if the Packers ever lose like that, it's got to be like the quietest, because there's like hundreds of people that go to that place to watch the game. Right? I mean, I was there once rooting for the Giants against the Packers. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done.
We got there late and we had to go into the overflow.
Right,
bar.
at Marina Cantina, which is nice. There's so many Green Bay folks, Wisconsin folks down here. So what's your prediction for the outcome tonight?
It's going to be very close, but I think a field goal will determine the winning team. And my heart says it will be the Pack with 4 seconds to go.
Oh, look at you, describing the game right to the end. Big hand for Dave, everybody.
Right.
We'll see you Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And just because it's going to be an exciting meeting, we used to carry the Murph meetings live, so we're going to do that this Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Before we get to our final guests, I need to tell you about our great sponsors, because without them, our engagement would be so low. Alex King is one of our great sponsors. He's a sponsor of everything here on the beach, including the upcoming events like the Putt and Pub and the fashion show for the Community Foundation, because Alex King creates dreams and elevates lifestyles. He's done the research and the homework, so you don't have to. And they meet with builders all the time. You should follow Alex King on social media. They're always making great videos. You always see the great properties here on Fort Myers Beach. And he's got such a glowing personality. He's like the anti-Ed. Follow Alex King on all social media or call him right now. He's out in his car waiting for you to call at 239-219-0336. That's 239-219-0336. If you're not staying here at Margaritaville, consider staying at the Best Western right up the street. They have complimentary breakfast and Wi-Fi. They're within walking distance of the restaurants and the shops, but far away from the noise and the crowds. There's no resort or parking fees. All the rooms are efficiencies, and most have private balconies. Make your reservation today at bwbeachresort.com. That's bwbeachresort.com. Thank you to our great sponsors. And right now, our last guest of the show is Alex is Oscar from Power Block Builders. Again, one of our other sponsors. We love talking to the builders. Big hand for Oscar. I said Alex by accident only because I just read his commercial. But how are you?
Good, and you? How are you?
Good. Man, how old are you? Like 30? 36. And you're running a business, a very important business. How long have you been the president of the company?
Since 2017.
Tell everybody about Power Block. Nice and close with the mic so they can hear you.
Well, Power Block Builders, we're right now rebranded to Homes by Power Block.
Okay.
We started in Cape Coral. We were shell contractors. We were doing a lot of work for other developers. And then after Hurricane Ian, we came here to Fort Myers Beach, and my sales director, Chad, over there, we just started, we brought our services over here and we started building. We already built 12 homes in Fort Myers Beach since Hurricane Ian.
Nice.
And we got 6 more in the works. And it's been a little challenging, but also exciting.
Yeah.
We learned so much. I mean, it was a great experience for us, just helping everybody. Everybody has their own challenges, their own issues that they're trying to work with the town, and we've been able to help everybody.
So are there a couple, without being stalkers, or are there a couple of houses that people can go take a look at that you've built on the island? Maybe a road with something that...
Yeah, well, actually, Alex King, Mark from Alex King Group, he listed 4841 on Estero Boulevard, the flat roof home right next to Publix. I built that home. I'm building the Shanowski homes on Hercules.
Okay, Alan and his wife. Yep.
Yep. The 2 cottages on Hercules.
So 4841 Estero would be great if it's up for sale. Then people can go look at it without actually, being considered peeping toms. They can drive through. Is it people living in it now?
No.
Okay,
no.
so
not that I know of. But yeah,
Well,
I mean, Mark
yeah.
is a listing agent, so
Mark.
Mark Taglieri.
Yes, Mark. Yeah. Okay. So 4841 by Publix on the beach side, you said, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Stop by and see that. And you can. How long did it take you to build that one?
That one had a few challenges. It was a very custom home.
Okay.
It's a flat roof deck. It was like around a year to
All right.
build. And it depends. We're building on Emily Lane, which is before the bridge.
Yeah.
On San Carlos Island, and that one's going really fast. Small 1,100 square foot home, so it's easy. It's a cottage. If it's a very custom home, it takes longer. It's a longer process. And also permitting, depending also of how custom the home is, it might take a little bit longer. We haven't had any issues with inspections. The inspectors are great here.
The ones
personally-
that work for the beach.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
not the
exactly.
third
Not a
party
third party.
inspector.
Exactly.
You don't use those, do you?
No.
Okay,
I want the Fort Myers Beach
Yes.
inspection, not company, but that department to be involved in my builds.
Right, because then you don't have to second guess anything. It's being done by the town.
Exactly.
So take people through the process of if they're considering a build. People still are looking at building new homes. What do you start with when you first meet with somebody?
First thing is a phone call. If they call our office, Chad will answer the call, and he's going to interview them, ask them, do you own property? If you don't own property, where do you want to own property? What area of Fort Myers Beach do you live? Do you live before the bridge or inland or coastal? It depends on the area. If you're coastal, you need a DEP permit. And if you might need piling. So we go through the whole process of filtering out what we need and what we don't need, because every single step is cost. There's cost to that. And once we get to the engineering phase, we put everything together, and then we give them a price based on that. And then from there, we sign a contract. We submit everything to permitting, and after it's permitting is approved, we start building for them.
What is the time frame nowadays for the phone call to they're opening up their front door?
I would say, so like I said, if it's a model home that we have models already, pre-designed already. If it's a custom home, it takes a couple months for engineering, 2 or 3 months for permitting. So that's already maybe 6 months you're losing, and then another maybe 8 to 10 months to build a home. So I would say like a year and a couple months.
Are you finding that the cost of materials is coming down yet?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that because we took over Venezuela, or it has nothing to
I
do
don't know
with
yet. I don't know yet. Whatever it is, I want the
want more
cost
of
to build
it.
to be-
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I was driving down here. I saw gas was $2.59. Now is that a new thing, or has it been $2.59ish? Or you don't need to talk about the politics, but I mean, if you don't want to.
No, really, I don't know.
Yeah. So the other question I had for you was how do people, a lot of the stuff that we see now, we had the Legal Aid Society on last week, and they have an event coming up on the 14th to try and help people that run into issues with builders and issues with insurance and issues with whatever they're facing still from the hurricanes. How do they know that they can trust somebody? I'm not saying they wouldn't trust you, but take them, what the people need to know, like license wise and things like that, so they don't just sign a contract with somebody that's going to screw them.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And I don't mean you, but you're an expert at this. So how do you?
In general, yeah. Well, a lot of the customers here in Fort Myers Beach, they do a lot of research, and they check if I've had liens. They check my license status. It's all public records. They've sat down with me and Chad, and they've said, "Hey, you have a clean record. Everything is good." I've had customers ask for references, and I've sent the references. They say good things about me. We had challenges, and every build is different, every single one. So there's different challenges for every single one. But at the end of the day, we don't run away with our money at all. We stick until the end. We stay until the end, until the home is built, until everything is done right. Any mistake that was done will be completed, and the customer's happy at the end of the day. So we never give up. We don't run away with anybody's deposits or anything. I mean, I've seen that everywhere. I understand why they would feel that way. And unfortunately for you could be the most honest contractor, but unfortunately, other contractors ruin it for you.
Yeah.
So we try to be as transparent as we can. And any questions they have, I'll show them. I have nothing to hide. I'll show everything to them, all the licensing, insurances, everything, referrals, everything they need. I will provide that for them.
And you do the permitting for the build, right?
I do everything myself. I don't pay a third party. I go from A to Z. I do permitting. I do the CO. I do the entire build of the home. I have an attorney that does contracts for me, and I review them and I custom edit them so we can, make a contract for this customer based on that custom home. But from A to Z, I do everything myself.
And when I say your company will do the permitting
Yes.
for the homeowner, so the homeowner doesn't have to go to town hall and do the permitting. That's part of what you do.
Exactly.
Because
everything is included.
That's a challenging thing for a homeowner that doesn't know anything about permitting. They've never had to done it before. Now the town's dealing with all these homeowners that are rebuilding and have to put all these permits through.
Exactly. Yeah. So we do from A to Z. We do completely everything. If there's any issues with permitting and I have to sit down with someone in the zoning division or environmental, I would sit down with them and spend some time with the permitting staff to get it approved.
Yeah. In your opinion, how is it possible that a house could ever fall off pilings?
Brought that up. Well, because
it's not your house.
Oh yeah.
That would never happen.
Well, first of all, there's certain things I don't build. I don't build on wood pilings. I will not build it. Unfortunately, I don't want to take the liability.
Is there again? I'm Greek on this. Sorry about that. I didn't mean it to sound like I'm picking on the Greek, but what does that mean? Well, you don't build on wood pilings. I don't even know what that means.
Well, there's concrete precast pilings.
Okay.
And concrete. It's either formed columns or CMU columns. It's all concrete, regardless, or wood, made out of wood. Wood posts. I just don't like wood. I can build a house from tie beam up that's made out of wood because that's over the flood elevation.
And on the concrete.
Anything under that has to be concrete. And for example, there was a practice, and it's still being practiced here and everywhere in Florida, where instead of a concrete tie beam, they use a 2x12 LVL beam, wood beam. And my belief as a company owner and a structural person is that up to the tie beam, it should be concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And from tie beam and up, then it could be wood. It's okay. But at least the structure of the house has to be, that's holding the entire house, has to be concrete.
So you're saying you wouldn't use wood. Some people do.
Exactly. We build from tie beam up. It could be wood, but anything under that, I will reject the job.
But can you tell people that might be getting pitched on wood why you would never do it?
Wood, you don't get termites in wood. Concrete. In concrete, you don't get termites in concrete. Concrete doesn't rot. Concrete has a strength that's way more than wood. Why risk your home in a coastal area after Hurricane Ian and then Milton? Because we're going to start working in Englewood.
Mm-hmm.
Hurricane Milton devastated Manasota Key, and same thing. I would not do wood if it's the structure of the house, the base of the house, the foundation cannot. To me, it should not be wood. It should be concrete. Anything on top of tie beam could be wood, whatever, but anything under it should not, because if you have 10 feet storm surge, just too much pressure going under that.
And so is there a huge cost between the difference, wood and concrete?
My prices are very competitive. So every house you build with us, it'll be concrete up to the tie beam. And then from the tie beam up, then there's a huge price difference, because the flooring on that, depending on the flooring, is what will start raising your prices. It could be wood flooring, it could be precast, hollow core flooring, it could be epicor flooring. So depending on that, then you'll see the cost difference. But everything we build, everything will be included from the bottom up to the tie beam being concrete.
And so I cut you off before you answered the question. How does a house fall down?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they were cutting corners and they weren't building it how it's supposed to be. I did check the blueprints on the portal, and it wasn't being built. It was designed for concrete columns, I believe. If I can remember the right job, I think it was designed for concrete columns, and they were trying to cut costs.
I see.
And I'm the opposite. I'm a big spender, so I don't cut costs. I actually spend more. Sometimes I over-engineer or overspend, but I don't care. At the end of the day, I'm building something that's going to last a long time, and even if it affects my profit margin, it's still a better product at the end of the day, and I'm not going to go through that embarrassment of
Right.
having a house fall off.
Oh, I mean, people just never let that one go about the house that fell down. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's a wicked embarrassment. I mean, how could you build another house, be trusted to build another house when that happens out in the open? Like, it's not even like it was a side street. It's on Estero Boulevard. And it's still sitting there.
Yeah, I almost got in trouble because I did mention something about that, and it was just to let everybody know, don't build this way. Just don't. Up to the tie beam, completely concrete. From tie beam up, just it's okay to build wood because the house is not going to be ripped apart unless you get a tornado, maybe. Who knows? But at least the house is not going to be pushed away from storm surge.
So start with concrete. Do you like when you sit down with people, do you build all kinds of houses?
Yeah, any type of home. Yeah.
So what is the most popular part of a house right now for people that come and see you? What do they want? What do they want to see the most of? Is it the living room? Is it the kitchen? Is the man cave?
I think it's 50-50. I think 50% of what they're looking for is a structure. And because we have so much experience, my father's my business partner, and he's been doing structural work 30 plus years. So we focus on that every single time. I tell everybody, invest more on your structure and less on your tile. You know, because tile, it's replaceable. Cabinets are replaceable. The structure, if you damage the structure of the home, if it falls to the side, you're not going to replace that. Or if you will, but you'll spend so much money fixing that.
Yeah. And are people paying for their homes right now mostly with cash or with insurance money?
For the most part, I would say 75% is cash, and then the other 25% would be construction loans and with insurance.
Yeah. Crazy. So how can people get in touch with you and line up a consultation about a new house? We lost the sound. There we are. Sorry about that, you guys. I think we're back now. Let me just double check. I don't want to miss out on getting this information out about the Legal Aid Society. Sometimes this machine has a mind of its own, but I think we're back now. All right. The Legal Aid Society free legal clinic is on the 14th of January at the Fort Myers Beach Library. It's with the Lee County Legal Aid Society, and you can check them out at leecountylegalaid.org. They're going to have 3 attorneys at the library, and their goal is to speak to people that are 50 and over. They consider 50 and over a senior. My feelings were hurt when they said that on the show last week, but hey, if you're going to get free legal advice and you want to go down there, consider yourself a senior at 50 years old. It's about anything that happened during the hurricanes, any of the hurricanes, but they also said if there's enough time and your neighbor got bit by a dog or something like that and you want some advice, you can talk to them about that. But if you are going to talk to them about hurricane stuff, you need to bring all your papers. Bring your paperwork so they can look out what you signed, and they can help you out with maybe a contractor or with maybe an insurance company that didn't follow through the way they needed to follow through. So that's on the 14th at 9:30, and that is going to be at the Fort Myers Beach Library. That's the big building down the street just a little bit. All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming in the audience. We're going to shut off to Facebook, and then we're going to draw a winner for our prizes. And we will see you all tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Wahoo Willie's. And we will give you the results of the 5K race today. Remember, I'm injured, so I have an injury tonight. So, anything can happen. I could fall off the bridge into the lake or the river, whatever it is over there. And that'll be only because of the injury, not because you pushed me over or anything like that. So we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock at Wahoo Willie's. Bye-bye.